All right. Hi, I'm Norm Mathers. This is Enigma Media. Today I'm joined by Fifth Ring member Zach. How you doing? How you doing, brother?
Tired.
Yeah, you're just telling me about that 3-month-old baby.
Yeah, little sleepy, man. We're also in the process of moving from apartments because our landlord is the absolute devil. So we got to get the fuck out of town, move to another place with the 3 month baby and a
Oh
dog.
shit.
So yeah, I'm tired, man. I'm tired, and I'm trying to get this album out. That's what we'll lead into, right? But like, it's a lot on my plate. A lot on my plate right now.
Totally. Um, yeah, man. How's you're in Japan, right? You were saying?
Oh, that'd be fun. Taiwan.
Taiwan,
Taiwan's
sorry. My
yeah,
apologies.
the number one target for China, the Nancy Pelosi, yada yada. It's all bouncing in the news. So yeah, the small little island south of Japan. There is actually a big Japanese influence out here, but yeah, I've lived out here for coming on 3 years. Lived in China for a year before. I'm doing the whole English teacher gig, so I'm out here and I'm quote unquote teaching English
Sweet.
and live with my wife. She's Taiwanese, and we have our baby boy. So it's good living out here, honestly.
Wicked. So how is it dealing with the landlord being in Taiwan?
uh, well, I can only speak a little bit of Mandarin, so the wife usually has to deal with her. She's awful though. She's like a fucking bulldog, and uh, yeah, I don't know. It's just a whole slew of shit. She where we had to draw the line was we called the cops because she came into our apartment unannounced, uh, uninvited, just literally just walked up in here. And
Like
just,
with their own key, or just the
yep,
door was open or whatever,
yep,
or
her own damn key, and with some workers because we said the doors are busted and we need to get the doors fixed. And she never really communicated with us when or where she was going to do that, and she just showed up one day weeks and weeks later and just walked up in the fucking house. And yeah, we called the cops. My wife called the cops. I wasn't here. I was at work. And
whoa.
yeah, she's a bit fucking screwy. So we got to get the hell out of Dodge. We already got a new place lined up, so that'll be cool.
Man, no kidding. Holy shit.
Yeah, but it's a thing out here. Like they have like a whole court system for bad landlords. So we're not really a special case. We just hope that our next landlord's not a fucking head case.
Fair enough. How long have you guys been in this place for?
2 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just enough to be like, this sucks. Let's get the fuck out of here. And we just moved from another city. We moved here because of the baby, and we wanted to be closer to the family.
Hmm.
So we had to move with a newborn about an hour and a half out to this bigger city, and the city's nice. And we just took this apartment on face value. We're like, okay, this place, fine, what the fuck ever. It seems all right. And she started just rattling off all this like weird shit. Like as we're signing the contracts, like, oh yeah, by the way, you're gonna split the power bill with the person up on the seventh floor. Like, okay. Oh, by the way, I want a 2 year contract. Okay, yeah, sure, fine. So yeah, just a bunch of shit, man. Just a bunch of shit. And then we're moving out this Wednesday, so we got a lot of our stuff packed already. I just want to be done with it.
I hear
Like
you, dude.
all.
All right. Well, on to, better, more positive vibes here. So,
Yeah.
why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how the band got started?
All right. So, um, me personally, I guess I've been doing music. I started playing guitar when I was like 11. Always got into like heavier stuff. Dad got me into like Black Sabbath. Originally, like Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of influenced me playing guitar, and just I went to high school during the emo angsty era, so I started getting into like emo music and shit like that. Um, and eventually, like 2009, I joined a band with the members who are in this band now. We were called Cthulhu. We were a legit local band, played for about what 5 years, and we our biggest show we ever played. We played with Cattle Decapitation, uh, Dying Fetus, and Cerebral Bore. We opened for them. That was
Yeah.
like our magnum opus show. I have a video I could send you. And
What year was this? Sorry.
this was 2012, I think.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
right when Monolith just came out for Cattle Decap. So like Cattle Decapitation just blew the fuck up, and they went on this tour, and we were, you know, graced by their presence, and we were able to jump on that show. It was a really awesome show. But then after
Sweet.
that, we felt like we kind of peaked and we just fizzled out, band drama and this and that. So I was on my own. My band members kind of excommunicated me, and I started doing solo shit. I did a solo album called Korokon where I played guitar, programmed the drums, and I did the vocals. Oh yeah, I was the vocalist in the band. So
Oh,
like I do the vocals and shit. Um, and after Korokon, nothing really happened. I just kind of did it to do it. I started just focusing more on making my own music. So I made this one band while I was in Taiwan, called Of Mortals, and that's still a thing. Like I might make some more music for it, but I do the guitars, bass tracks, program the drums. I do it all on Logic Pro, and I do the vocals. And that was a good learning experience. But then I get in touch with my old guitar player, Chris, and he said he's been writing stuff. He got a new guitar and all this stuff, and he's been figuring out how to record. And he started sending me tracks, and I was like, "Hey, I can fuck with this." And like we started going back and forth, and then we came up with our first EP for Fifth Ring, Dawn. So we did those 3 songs together, and it's just me and him. So again, I did the drums, the bass, and the vocals. He did all the guitar tracks. So where we are now, we still fill the same roles. I'm still doing all this other stuff. He's doing the guitars, and we're working on our new album, Masochist. And Masochist is going to be a 9-song album. Some of the best material I think we've ever fucking done. I'm really proud of him. I'm really proud of us and all this shit that we're doing. I think my production skills have gotten stronger as well. Like I've been trying new things to really boost the sound quality and try to refine a lot of things. So, because I'm just self-taught, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm self-taught guitar. I'm self-taught vocals. I don't, you know, that's the metal way to do it, right? I don't read no books. I don't know that shit. I don't know chords. I don't know any of that stuff. I
dude,
just kind
the
of wing it.
the fucking EP sounds amazing.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you.
Like I always go in with just like even expectations, like so that way I'm not like super ever blown away and I'm never super disappointed by a band that I check out or whatever.
Mhm.
But honestly, man, like just the production of it and all, like especially for you guys being self-taught, like just bang on, bud.
Hey, well,
Bang
thanks,
on.
man. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, that was just fun. I think why that EP kind of uh plays well, for some people is like me and Chris, we had no expectations. We were just like, let's just fucking just give me something, and I'm just gonna make it sound dirty and disgusting and just fucking like just take my head out of it. Like don't think too much about it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
kind of where the origin of the name Fifth Ring comes from. Is it's uh, it's from our guitar player. He read the book The Seven Rings, which is the story of a samurai, like a samurai duelist. It's like a kind of like a manifesto of his duels. It's like a real he was a real person. But he talks about these different layers of rings, different rings like earth, wind, rings that kind of represent cycles of life.
Okay.
And the fifth ring is what's called the void. And the void is kind of like a mindset you get into where you can just like kind of like take your hand off the steering wheel and just allow things to happen. Kind of like when athletes are in the zone, right? It's like, oh, I was in the zone, and you don't really know how you did it. You just did it. So that's kind of the idea of what we do with our music. If we start thinking too much about it, it doesn't work. We try to just kind of feel it out. and just let what be.
Yeah, almost like a flow state, you know, right?
Yeah, exactly. The flow state.
Fuck yeah. Well, dude, I mean, you guys found something special there, that's for sure. Totally excited to see what Nine Song sounds like.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, are you guys really testing the limits as far as like genreification? Are you guys going everywhere in metal? Are you guys gonna keep it somewhat the same?
I think musically, what we always try to like work towards, like sound wise, is like we're all about like groove. Like I think my idea of heavy is like, I love black metal and like, obscure, intense metal too. Like Anal Nathrak is like insane black metal that's just like, it's kind of like insane for the sake of being insane. It's really well structured and is very technical and musically pretty damn genius. But it is kind of like a wall of noise, and so it's cool. But I can't really like, I can't snap my fingers to it. I can't tap my toe to it. I can't, I can't get down with it. So with us, like we like a good groove. Like I'm originally from Georgia. Well,
Okay.
we're all Georgia boys, Southern boys.
Sweet.
So some Pantera, hell yeah, brother. Like we like
Yeah.
some dirty, stinky, groovy kind of stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
like I I think the idea of like heavy is like, if a song can give you that, just like that like stink face, like like someone's cooking a big ass batch of cookies and you're like fucking, you're feeling it, like yeah, like that's when I think we hit a good stride. And so especially for this new album, we have a lot of groove, but we do have a lot of black influence. There's a lot more like black metal riffs in there, which I was pretty surprised with Chris, because he writes very chuggy. Um, what would I compare him to? Not really like Acacia Strain stuff, but like just more bouncy, kind of straightforward deathcore kind of stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
for,
Mm-hmm.
for genre defining, I don't know necessarily if we're really stepping too far out of the box. I think we still need to kind of work on ourselves to define what our full sound will be. I think we're doing it really well with this new album, but
Mm-hmm.
this new album also has like, there's a song that sounds very thrashy. There's a song that sounds very more straightforward death metal. There's one that's like very deathcore and then kind of switches into black metal. So there is a little bit of little mix here and there of genres. If anything, I wanted our band to focus on is kind of imaging, like how to kind of like stand out among the crowd a little bit. Because if you see, like I saw this tour poster. It's like the blah 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 tour 2022. Look at all these bands, and there's like 100 bands. All the fonts are white, but they're all just like, you know jagged, pointy, thorny. Like they all kind of look the same.
Yeah.
And uh, I recently just did uh, logo design and stuff like that, and it is kind of like running the same generic vibe. So I think like down the line,
Oh, I lost your video feed there. Hello, people. We are just experiencing some technical difficulties. As soon as we can get Zach back here, we will have him back happily. Maybe I'm just going to pause this recording. All right. We're back from technical difficulties. Um so on like a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the new single coming off of the new album as opposed to your last single you guys dropped?
on a scale of 1 to 10, like I'd say like it's hard. I'd say like an 8, just because I'm excited to share with people what we've been doing. I'm not excited for doing all the post work, like, because there being like a self-governing band, right? Like a underground band with social media. You
Yeah.
gotta just you gotta share so much stuff. You gotta network so much things. You gotta push so much stuff. It's like in a perfect world, I would love to just be like, here's the single, it's out there. Maybe make like one post and boom, like people see it. And but that's just not the world we live in. So yeah, there's I was telling my guitar player today, it's like, yeah, making the album's great, but there's so much work after the album is done to actually get it out there, get people listening to it. You can't just make it and expect people to watch it or listen to it.
Hmm.
So I am very excited. I'm very excited for people to hear it. I know people who have heard snippets of it and clips of it are really excited.
Yeah.
Um, I'm only not excited about the extra work just because your boy's got a lot of work already, and I'm trying to find time to do that extra work. But I believe once the album is done, I won't have all that work of creating the album. I'll have just post production stuff, which honestly for me it's just boring. It's just so fucking boring. It's just kind of mindless, like hey, here's my band, blah blah blah, and trying to find different venues to advertise my band and stuff like that. So if anything, Metal Incorporated is the best. Like, that's how we obviously came together, but
Totally.
they've helped me out loads. Like they honestly, I came into Metal Incorporated with my solo project of Mortals, and
Okay.
then I was like, hey, I got this other band if you don't mind. He's like, oh yeah, 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 sure, get them in here. So I've been leaning more into uh Metal Incorporated for finding these interviews and getting playlists and radios and stuff like that, and it's honestly working really well. I think Metal Incorporated is actually a really cool community. Like the dude reached out to me when it was literally like me, him, and like two other people.
Oh
So I'm not
wow.
gonna say I'm an OG member, but I've been there since the beginning. I've
Yeah,
seen
totally.
so it was like he reached out to me. You know what I'm talking about, like Jonathan. He
Josh?
oh Josh, I'm sorry,
Yeah, no worries.
Jenny. I'm fucking terrible with names. Forget my
You have
own.
a 3 month hold at home. You don't have to be sorry for nothing, dude.
uh, but he reached out to me on DistroKid
Oh,
because I listened to one of his songs, uh, the
yeah.
Obsidian Resurrection,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Am I right? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
See, I can remember that. So I commented. I was like, "This is cool, man. Like, this is a nice throwback. Like, I dig this. Like, very old school black metal stuff." And da da da. And he was like, "Yo, thanks, man." And he sends me all this stuff. It's like, "I'm trying to build this community and blah blah blah. You want to be a part of it?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, "Yeah, whatever, man." Like. I used to be on Twitch and stuff, and I got pulled into Discords left, right, and center. I'm like, yeah, I'll get into this useless fucking Discord that everyone's talking over everyone trying to self promote.
Mm-hmm.
And he pulls me in this community and then like legit, like one, that guy works his fucking dick into the dirt, like promoting everybody and tries to communicate with everybody. I think he definitely needs like someone to kind of take the burden off his shoulders a little bit. But he really did help me, one, kind of bolster my confidence in making the music, because like people were like, yeah dude, this is cool, like I like this, and people were actually promoting it. And it was like, when other people start recognizing your work, your creative endeavors, it makes it more real.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just kind of like creating for the clouds, like it's like solidified. And for me as an artist, like I was just telling my guitar player, this is like that validation is kind of what I live for. The fact that all the money in the world doesn't really matter to me, but if somebody likes my music, that speaks fucking volumes. That's all I care about. Like that's such a high feeling for me.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, man, to be honest, with Josh, I think even if somebody was able to come in and take some communication off his plate and stuff like that, he's just such a workhorse that it wouldn't matter, like
Yeah,
he'd still be giving it his all the fucking 18 to 20 hours he's awake in a day or whatever.
it's crazy. Yeah,
Totally.
for real. Yeah, I definitely respect that for real, and pretty inspirational. I have to say, like it kind of gets me off my ass, and I was like, oh shit, well I could be helping other people too. You know, it's that idea of like if we all elevate each other, you know, we can all move up. You know, we don't need to step on each other to get to the top. Like when I was in a local band, it was very cutthroat just because everybody was a fucking immature teenager. So it was
Mm-hmm.
like, this guy slept with my ex-girlfriend, so we fucking hate his band, and you know his fans are they suck. They wear this T-shirt. You know, it was like a weird tribalistic. Uh, I don't know. It was just really immature, and there was always like beefs because you know it's extreme metal, so everyone's like a fucking hard ass. Everyone wants to fight everybody, and me included. Like I definitely I ran my mouth way too fucking much. Again, I have all these videos. We have a YouTube channel. It's not the one I sent you, but another
Okay.
YouTube channel of all my old band stuff and like our live shows and videos and stuff like that. And man, I ran my mouth so fucking much. Oh shit!
Oh, I'm losing you again.
You gotta be fucking kidding. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. I just can't see your picture. Oh, I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. This is Enigma Media taking a quick break. All right, we're back again, people. Apparently, the Wi-Fi in Taiwan is sketchy
It's
as fuck.
China. It's the CCP. It's fucking China. They don't like us talking about this stuff.
No free
No one's
thought.
listening. No, these bastards.
All right, so you were on about your wild and rowdy fucking metal scene down in Georgia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was pretty foolish, I would say. You know, it's just kids being kids, right? Just too much testosterone, not enough brain cells, and like I was telling my wife about this the other day, actually. Like I got pretty damn lucky with how much shit I used to just prattle on about, especially on stage. Like one guy even told me, like with like pro wrestling euphemisms, love pro wrestling. And so like it really hit home. He was like, there's two kinds of people in the world. There's baby faces, which are the good guys, and there's heels. And you are a fucking heel. Cause I used to be on stage, like, you know, you imagine like the typical bad guy wrestler who's like, I don't know anything about Kentucky. I fucking hate this town. Everyone here is a fucking hick. Y'all, you all suck. I don't want to be here. Blah blah blah. And I was like, oh shit, I was that guy because I would go to venues and just shit on the venue, shit on the people, everybody. Just like, if you're wearing a white belt, you can go fuck yourself. I'm talking to you, bitch. Yeah, the guy running the soundboard. Fuck you. So we had a reputation that nobody really liked us. And then at the end of the day, they'd be like, why do people hate us? I was always like baffled. I was like, why do we're good guys? Like Offset, like we're good guys. And like the people who knew us and like they were cool with us. But the people who took us on face value is like, these guys are fucking dicks. Like
Yeah.
they're just assholes.
What, you never seen a persona before?
Yeah, come on, dude. Like it's just I'm just putting on a character. But yeah, like one time I pissed off the wrong one, I guess, and he showed up to the venue. I never even met this guy. Like some girl told me through the grapevines, like, "Hey, this random guy thinks you're, you know, insert blah blah blah. He thinks you're this." And I was like, "Well, tell him that I'll do this and this and that to him." Like I'm, you know, just making empty, hollow threats. I was like 18. I was skinny as a rail, the most unthreatening person you've ever met, least threatening person, I'd say. I looked like I was like 12. And so this guy shows up to the venue and he goes, "Hey, man, are you Zach?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, did you enjoy the show?" Like, and being all cheery and buddy buddy with everybody. He just finished the set. And he was like, "Nah, man, I didn't see your fucking show." And I'm like, "Oh, damn. Well, I'm sorry to hear that." And then, like, all these people just come creeping out of the woods because, you know, it's Georgia, right? So it's just coming out of the woods like fucking children of the corn. I'm like, "Oh, shit, what's this all about?" And he's like, "I'm so and so. And you said you were going to go do this, this, and this to me." I'm like, whoa, hold on, dude. This guy like towered over me and all this shit. Was like, yo, I don't, dog. I was just saying shit. Like, come on, man. He's like, nah, bro. Like, I've been to jail. I've been stabbed. I'm like, oh well, okay, well, all right, great. And he just kept like throwing these threats and threats and threats. So then I go to my car and I'm like, hey man, like I don't want any trouble. I don't want any fucking trouble. And I pull out a baseball bat like fucking Sting. And I'm like, you wanna go? You wanna go now? And like we're just like kind of going back and forth, like I'm about to hit him with the bat. And then the venue owner comes and like breaks us off and like sends them away. And he turns to me and he's like, Zach, stop getting in fucking fights with people. You're ruining my venue. And I'm like, ah, sorry, man. At first, like I took it on the chin. I was actually proud. I'm like, oh, what are you gonna do? That's just Zach. Getting in fights. And so it nothing happened from it, thank God. But you know, it, there's always something. Like I back in the day, like crowd killing was starting to become a thing. Like I like going to concerts and like mosh pitting and stuff.
Hmm.
I like push pits. I don't mind getting pushed around. I don't care. Sometimes you get hit, no big fucking deal, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
Uh, Last concert I went to, it was like probably 28, 29. Oh, no, 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 no. I went to a concert. I was 30. I went a few months ago here in Taiwan. There's actually a really sick metal scene here in Taiwan I could talk about.
Okay,
Uh,
cool. Yeah,
it's
I'll
really,
ask you about it.
yeah, it's really surprising. So I went to this concert and I'm standing like I love to just like be in the midst of everything. So I'm just standing there, and I'm a foreigner, so like I tower over everyone. Like I'm about like six. I'm only like 6'1", but I'm still got like a good foot over most people. And I'm sitting there, I'm digging the band. I'm like, fuck yeah, this is sick. It was like this like kind of like thrash metalcore band called Infernal Chaos. And
Okay.
I was like, this is fucking sick. I'm digging this. And like, I was really getting into it. And then there's just like this little Taiwanese girl, and she's just looking me dead in the eyes and just like she's like starting to pit. I'm like, bro, you don't want it. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you don't don't get me started right now. Like, and I'm not gonna get violent. It's just I enjoy being in a pit, and I'll get everyone in it. And I'm like, all right, and I'm just ping ponging back and forth and just going ham and bouncing into people. And then eventually I pulled myself out and I was having a good time. And I look at that pit and I'm like, man, that's all like kids. That's all kids. I probably teach some of them. I can't be doing this, man. And ended up like crowd surfing and all that stuff. It was great, man. It was great. I love going to a concert and just absolutely going buck wild. I just can't control myself, honestly.
Totally, man. And so we had my band had a show on Thursday night. Um, I'm the door guy for the night. I guess they have a regular door guy. This guy named Mike at this regular place we play at, and he can't make it on Thursday night, so I'm the door guy. We opened up for the headlining band, this local band called Planet Killer, and I like make it halfway through their first song. It starts off, it's not really intriguing me, but by about halfway through, they're playing some sort of groove where I'm just like, I take my handful of like wristbands, I put them down, I have this wad of cash, I put it in my pocket, and I just run for the pit. There's like not even very many people there, but I just have to like
Yeah.
go like stand at the front and just fucking shake my head until my
Hell
brain
yeah.
hurts.
That's
But
that's what you got to do. Doesn't matter how many people.
to-
Honestly, the pits with the least amount of people, I think, are more dangerous because then you got more space to like build up that fuck. Like they'll like look at you like a charging bull, and you just gotta hit each other at like 10 feet distance. So yeah, I feel you.
Man, and another thing that I'd never really heard of until today, and then you just mentioned it, was that crowd killing. And I saw a video where this band's playing like on a big stage or whatever, and there's just like a lower tier right below where they're playing on the stage, and there's like about 6 or 7 or 8 dudes that are all fucking huge, and they're standing there, and the crowd's in the general admission, and they're just like fucking boot fucking them and
Yeah,
kicking at them and shit like that, and I was like,
yeah.
wow,
I think I
crazy.
actually shared that video. Yeah, they're like standing on the
Oh,
little high rise there, and they're like stepping on people and shit, right?
okay, so it was when I was looking at your page today. Yeah, that was fucked
Ah,
up,
okay, man.
dude. I was like, holy shit.
It's it's like it's such a weird phenomena, crowd killing, because like the people who are into that music, like more like beat down hardcore, which I love some of that shit. That shit's just like ignorant as fuck. It's just angry and disturbing, and it's cool. It's fun and it's groovy. It's usually really groovy. It's really
Yep.
like you can really get down to it. Uh, but those shows, it's like if a guy like swings and like hits you in the face, you're not allowed to fight him. You're supposed to just take it and like and then like if you try to fight him, then there's problems. It was like, but this dude like just blindly like backhanded my 6-year-old daughter. Nah, dog, like she shouldn't have came to the pit, man. Like that's just how it goes, dude. Next time don't stand near the pit. It's always like this unwritten rule that you're not allowed to beat this dude's ass if he just blindsided you. And I've had this happen to me on 2 occasions when I was in the band. We went to this one venue, which was at a church, which was funny because like at the time we were like very like anti-Christian religion because we're from Georgia, right? So like
Hmm.
we're like the polar opposite of what we were kind of brought up to believe.
Right.
Um, so we play at this church and we're just being complete assholes. We were actually being, I'd say, fairly respectable. And one of our buddies' bands were playing, and they're more straightforward death metal. So like with that, push pits, everyone's just moshing, and having a good time. But this guy comes in, big dude, and he's crowd killing, which it looks like what I would say is like hardcore dancing, where they just like put their head down and they're just swinging and doing ninja moves and shit, which is all right, fine. Like I would do that sometimes. It's kind of dumb, but you know, have fun. But I started noticing like I was in the pit and I got hit in the nose really hard, so hard like I fell on my ass and like slid back 3 feet. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go sit down. Like I just thought, okay, I got hit. That hurt. I'm just gonna go like take a breather. And I'm chilling on the side and I see that dude and he's looking over his shoulder and like lining up like elbows. It's not the whole
Oh.
like even doing the whole like nonsensical like I don't know what if you get in my way you're gonna get hit. Have you ever seen that episode of The Simpsons where Bart and Lisa
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, I'm gonna be swinging my arms, and if you
Yeah.
come in here, you're gonna get hit. That's what it fucking is. And so, but this guy was deliberately like looking over his shoulder and then doing one of those, and he hit this old guy. And this old dude was probably like in his 40s, but he was a big boy. Looked like he, probably listened to some Five Finger Death Punch. Hell yeah, brother! I used to listen to Pantera back in the day, man. Hell yeah, let me tell you about good music. And he got bopped and he instantly just like grabbed this kid. He was like, what the fuck? He started like digging in on him, and all these kids just swarmed him. They jumped on the old guy and they're like, hey, you can't hit him. He's a fucking kid. Blah, blah, blah. What are you doing? And then I started getting involved because I'm like, no, this fucking guy's like deliberately hitting people like a fuck. Like, fuck this dude. Like, and he was legit crowd killing because like during this time, it was like you were either a hardcore kid, at least in our scene, it was like you're either a hardcore kid or you're a push pit metal kid. And the
Okay.
hardcore kids don't like push pit kids. It's like, oh, the push pit shit, that pussy shit. I'm gonna just start hitting everybody, and that'll be the end of that. And so, yeah, it started this big thing, and like I started getting really hot, and I was about to like jump this dude, and one guy, one of my friends who was in a hardcore band, like came up to me and he was like, dude, everyone's looking at you right now. If you jump this guy, they will see you in the parking lot. They'll fucking slash your tires and beat you down. Like, don't. And he wasn't saying it as a threat. He was like legit, like just warning me. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, like, don't push it. Don't push it. Like, just chill. And at that point, I was like, man, fuck this, man. And like, that's when I started becoming like just really aggressive on stage. And I hated people like that. It's like, it wasn't even about the music. It was all about like an image and like trying to look like the toughest motherfucker and shit. And it was all this like just chest puffing bullshit. And yeah, like crowd killing, I still to this day I don't respect crowd killing. I don't think it's cool. I think it's just ignorant as shit. And if I go to, thankfully, like I don't think there's crowd killing out here in Taiwan. It's definitely like a product of America. It's a
Mm,
very American thing,
totally.
like American hardcore. Uh, but like American hardcore kids they'll defend it to the death and just be like, well, just don't get in the pit. It's like, well, like you saw in the videos, like those people aren't in the pit. Those people are just watching a show and they're getting their head kicked in. This isn't a Gigi Allen concert. They probably didn't sign up for this. They probably, maybe some of them did, but probably not all of them. So, at least with a push pit, like if someone gets knocked down, you'll see like 5 people scoop them up. That's something that really like uh enlightened me when I was young. My first concert I went to was Job for a Cowboy and High on Fire and Children of Bodom, and uh
Damn.
I was fucking scared because I was like 15 and there was all these big guys pushing each other. It was like, oh, this is kind of scary. And like,
Yeah.
but I started seeing like they got pushed down, people help them up. And I was like, okay, there's like this like general respect, even though everyone's like viciously bouncing into each other. Like there is this like moniker of respect for the people around you. But the whole crowd killing thing, it's a lack of respect, and it's completely selfish. And it's just I have daddy issues and everyone else is gonna fucking experience it. Like, fuck you. It just can't can't get behind that shit.
Yeah,
Not at all.
man. I hear you. Even even these push pits, I was at a show last night, and there's this guy who's fairly tall but really scrawny, and he's going in kind of willy-nilly. Definitely no hardcore moves or anything like that. But
Mm.
it's like to the point where he's like going to push people and then missing or whatever and flying like 5 or 10 feet, and he's wiping
Ooh,
out on the ground so hard I can hear it over top of the
ooh,
music. And I was just like,
Jesus.
oh, and he's getting up and you can tell he's sore and shit like that, but he just kept going back in. I was like, fucking Superman.
Badass motherfucker. Yeah, that's metal, man. Yeah, you don't feel it until the next day. That's for damn sure.
Totally.
Especially as age starts creeping up on you. Like I went to a club not too long ago. It wasn't a metal show. It's just a club, and I don't like going to clubs, but I was drunk, and I the baby was with the missus.
Yeah.
I met with this Australian dude, and I was like, "We're going to this fucking club, man!" And like, I just went ham, just head banging because I don't know how to operate outside of metal culture. It's like, hell yeah, EDM, fuck yeah, let's get this pitch started, fuck
Go,
yeah,
go, go, go,
yeah,
go.
exactly. So I there's no in between for me. It's 0 or 10 every time. So
Hmm.
the next day, like actually the next whole week, I was just my neck body is just brutalized.
You just don't
Couldn't do
don't
it.
snap back like you used to,
No,
eh? Oh,
not
me
at all.
neither, dude. Me neither.
Not at all, man. Age is a brutal thing. How old are you, if you don't mind
Thir-
me asking?
31.
Hey, me too. As of last week,
Oh, nice, nice. Happy
just
belated,
turned
dude.
32. Hey, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be 32 in October.
Oh, respect.
Yeah,
October babies.
yeah, So when you were in high school, I know you were playing guitar. Did you ever dabble in any other instruments,
Uh,
like in band or anything like that?
yeah, I was a saxophone player in marching band.
Oh shit!
Hmm.
What size of saxophone?
Alto, the
Alto,
nice
yeah.
middle ground, the Bill Clinton of all the saxophones.
I was the tenor.
Oh, nice. See, there you go.
Yeah,
Tenor
totally.
was pretty. That shit is just that was too heavy for me, man.
Yeah.
Because you got the neck strap on there and like, you were in marching band, so you had to like march around.
No, no, we don't have marching band in Canada.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it's like a big American thing. I didn't know if it reached out.
Yeah, no. But not exactly like jazz either. So I would say it was like classical.
Mm,
I don't know.
classical tenor sax.
Right? Yeah,
No,
it was
that's what they
weird.
do though. Yeah, like when you take marching band in the States, at least at my school, it's like you have to do a semester of marching band, and then next semester to keep your chops up, you have to do uh, concert band. So
Okay.
yeah, if you play a saxophone, you're playing what did we play? We played like movie music. I remember we did like Pirates of the Caribbean, which was kind of cool, but like
Damn.
on a saxophone was just kind of funny. Uh, but yeah, marching band was pretty enlightening, especially as a musician. Like it really, I mean, I'm sure as a musician, like being in band really. uh, opens you up to like a lot of musical jargon. Like, you know, you understand 4/4s and time signatures, and at least reading music, understanding music scales, um, speaking music to other people. And yeah, like there are a lot of musicians that I talk to have like grown up through the band system,
Hmm.
and I think it's a very helpful thing. Like all my band members, the ones I was in a band with, they were all just like, you know, self-taught guys. Like I've been doing bands since middle school, and I dropped it once I joined the band. I was like, okay, now I'm gonna make my own music and do this, because like I was getting a little tired of the marching band thing. Like it was pretty brutal. We had to practice every damn day after school. I
Whoa.
think we had Wednesdays off, but every day from like 4 to 7, so like 3 hours a day
Holy
on,
shit.
yeah, black pavement in the Georgia heat. You know, marching, like it was a good exercise, if anything.
Yeah.
Uh, but it was a lot, and we would go to competitions in other states, so that was kind of cool. It
Hmm.
was a little raunchy though, man. I don't know if you've ever heard about like band kids. Like band kids are dirty, man. They're nasty little fuckers, because like you get on the bus with these kids, and like every Friday we had to do football games, you know. uh so sometimes if it's at your home school, you know, you just finish school, you practice a bit, and then you go do the thing. But if it's on an away school, you got to get on a bus, and all the
Hmm.
buses were co-ed. Now, just imagine you're in high school, you're a boy in high school, you know, fucking hormones out the ass, right? And you're in a co-ed bus with females that you spend 3 hours a day all the fucking time, and you travel like, you know, you would travel to like my first year, freshman year, we went from Georgia to New York to play in the Macy's Day Parade.
Okay.
So there's a lot of like, you know, rubbing elbows with people.
Yeah.
So it got really out of hand when the chaperones are told no blankets, we're gonna do a hand check. You know, like if you're sitting next to a boy and girl, it's like they'll like call it out like hand check, because there were kids on the bus just full on having sex, just blowjobs,
Wow.
hand jobs, all kinds of nasty shit. Me included. I wasn't excluded to it. You know, I had to learn, but it was bizarre, because we our band was like 200 plus students. It was a shitload, and it became this like cult that like everyone was just kind of with everyone in the band. And like I remember I started dating someone outside of the band, and like they started shunning me for it. There's like outsiders from the band. No,
What do you mean you're going with the Muggle Borns?
the Muggle Boards, the Dirty Bloods.
Crazy.
He's not one of us. Nah, it it was all right. You know, it was fun while it lasted, but that like I never was like a band kid. You know, I was a saxophone player. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
saxophone players aren't fucking band kids. Saxophone players are the cool guys. They're the ones that are like, fuck band. I'm gonna keep doing it for 3 years, but fuck this. I don't like this. I want to play guitar or whatever I want to do.
Totally, man. I was a horrible band student. You know, like I
Mm,
I I couldn't like sight read sheet music. You know, so
mm.
I always had to take it home and then sit there and like painstakingly figure out what all the notes were. You know, and then
Practicing at home
yeah, and
with a
then
tenor sax. It's
yeah.
very
I mean, I just had to do what I had to do. You know,
Yeah, it's a really quiet instrument.
right? And then I had to like memorize the songs, you know, because
Mhm.
I couldn't just sit there and read it. Like, you know, I had to memorize all the parts and then eventually I'd learn the song. So, yeah, like after the first year, I think I only did like middle school, 1 year of middle school, 1 year of like our freshman year. It's grade 9 in Canada or
Mhm.
whatever. So I do grade 9 like, and then yeah, I stopped doing that. They offered like a guitar class once
Oh,
you were
cool.
in like grade 11, and like me and my bandmates all joined that or whatever. So it was
There you
way
go.
better, right?
So are you still you're still with your band, like the same bandmates?
No, no. When I was in high school, uh, we were kind of like playing like sort of typical things that you would have heard in like late '07, '08, but more pop music.
Mm,
So we were like maybe on par with like the Killers or something like that.
mm, mm,
But honestly, I didn't get into a metal band up until I joined the band that I'm in right now, and that was just like 4 years ago.
mm, mm.
So
Yeah, man.
I always loved metal, but I was always, man, I just didn't think that my skills were adequate enough, to ever join a metal band.
Yeah, high skill genre, very demanding genre, that's for sure.
Totally. And then even the band that I'm in, uh like where me and my there's only two, or well, the three musicians, me and my guitar player and drummer or whatever.
Mm,
uh like we're all talented in our own right or whatever, but none of us are like amazing at our instruments. We're not like fucking I don't even know, like a crazy drummer. Like we're like our drummer's no Mike Portnoy. I'm
mm.
I'm no fucking Justin Chancellor from Tool, and our guitar player, like our whole band actually kind of dissolved. Our two guitar players, we had to kick one out. One got deported back to England.
Oh shit.
So our lead singer, just kind of stepped up and was is an amazing songwriter. Like just this guy that was being stifled as lead singer or whatever, and
Hmm.
turns out that he's just a sick guitar player as well.
That's
Um,
awesome.
but yeah, I don't know exactly where I was going with that.
Talking about your bandmates, and
Yeah,
I mean, because I don't know too much about the history of your band either. You know, there's so many bands in Metal Incorporated. I can only keep up with so much,
fair
and
fair enough, dude. Fair
you
enough.
know, I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of metal bands just in general. You know, like I not even just on Metal Incorporated. I try to like talk and network with other bands and stuff. There's so much, man, and it's like, I was talking about that idea is like, how do you kind of float above the surface there? Like, how do you get out of that like wake of like just a sea of fucking, and I hate to say it, just very mediocre metal music. Like, again, I don't want to be like super popular, but I want people to at least know of our music, talk about our music, share our music or something. Like, because there are a lot of people who just they spend a lot of time making their music, and they put their heart and soul into it, but when it comes to that post production stuff, it just falls to the wayside. And it's kind of disheartening that, as a musician, is like, wow, these people probably worked really hard on this, but it's just nobody's listening to it, nobody cares. But you have to make them care. Like, you can't listen to music for sympathy's sake. Like, then it's I don't know, it's you're not listening to it for the right reasons. I have plenty of people who listen to our songs just because they know us, and
Mhm.
that's going to be your first uh fan base, right? Like,
Yeah.
they're going to be the ones that know you on a personal level. And I was talking to my buddy Chris about this, like, why that is not necessarily that they just know you, it's because they know your story, they know the background, they know why this music exists, because they know you. And because they know you, they've built a lore around this music. It's like, oh my god, like, I like this so much better because I know Tommy. I grew up with Tommy. He used to fucking butt chug beers in the back of the locker room, and now he's making music. Good for him, you know. So my advice, what I'm trying to do for myself, and if you could take this, I'm not sure what you're trying to do to progress the PR of your band,
Yeah.
is really focus on like a narrative. Focus on giving a people a reason why they need to listen to you, because we as our culture is basically, or the way we communicate is really revolves around storytelling.
Mhm.
Like, a lot of what I've been doing in this interview is just telling stories, and that's some of the more captivating things, I would say. They need characters. It needs a beginning, middle, and end.
Hmm.
Like, I watched a video as to talking about black metal. It's like, why was black metal, or today, why is black metal so interesting? And is it because like it's just so musically profound? No, it's not. Like, I like black metal, but it's a lot of the songs are just two chords over and over and over with blast beats and
Yeah, yeah,
you know. But it's the story behind it. It's the reason for it. It's the image. It's the lore. It's the whole thing that makes it what it is. Um, is what captivates people. It's what captivated me, and I didn't even realize it. Was like, oh shit, that's why I like it. Like, there are some really good black metal bands that I genuinely like to listen to, but like like Burzum or like fucking Old Mayhem is arguably not really great music. And I think it's like okay music. It's
yeah.
like it's fine, Eh, but it's not something that's like, I'm gonna start my day, just play some fucking Mayhem.
Oh, this was
Like that.
so much better than being in the peace and quiet.
Yes, this wall of sound is really really starting my day off well. So it's it's something that I think a lot of bands kind of lack, because I see so many people just they post the same promo picture, the same logo, the same, maybe their song's really unique, but you would never know because it's behind a wall of here's our band and our logo, and that's it. That's the only thing we have to go off of why we should give a shit.
Hmm.
You know, uh, what we're trying to focus on now is I actually want to build things in a narrative, in a sense. Like, I want to build a narrative. Like, we have a narrative, like a story, in the sense that, like, oh, we used to be in a band and now we're in a band and I'm in Taiwan and they're in America, and maybe one day we'll do an online concert. I don't know. We'll see.
Hmm.
But I want to build, like, do you know Gorillas?
Yeah.
Love Gorillas. It's one of my tattoos. This is one of my favorite bands of all time. The Gorillas, like, their music is cool. I like their music. Honestly, some of their newer stuff's it's all right, but I think the main allure of Gorillas is their image, their storytelling, because there's like a whole fucking cavalcade of stories that all kind of interconnect from each album to each album, and if you really dive into it, it just makes the music that much better.
Oh, sweet.
And so I'm kind of thinking along those lines with my members, is like, let's make a a cavalcade of videos, music videos. They don't need to be high production. Like, I don't know if you saw the music video of us doing Anatomy Unanimated. That was just, they did it with their phones. They just did something silly. I did it with my phone, and they sent me the footage and I just spliced it up and threw it together. And that was fine. It was fine for me. And I said, let's build characters on that. How about, like, my character is, I'm always in Taiwan, but I like refuse to admit that I'm in Taiwan. So it'd be like they're in the kitchen talking about something, and they talk to me like off camera, and I'm like at the beach or some shit. I'm like, "Oh yeah, guys, definitely. Oh, I agree with that. I'm totally in the same room with you." So,
Just denying it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So like, small character building roles like that, like, I think it would just help sell the music. Like, the music is like a byproduct of the brand you're trying to build. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, you should, as a musician, you should really focus on the music, of course. But if you're trying to market it and sell it, like, you got to think you're not only competing with other bands, but you're competing with people's attention spans for Netflix, YouTube, social media, video games, drugs, alcohol, whatever the fuck is taking their attention. You need to grab their attention. And God knows, like, TikTok is one of the biggest fucking social network things right now, and like, that's kind of where I draw my fucking line, cuz I really don't want to do stuff on TikTok. And I know, as like a professional musician trying to market my stuff, that's very ill advised. Everyone I talk to is like, get your shit on TikTok, just post shit on TikTok all the fucking time. Everyone's on TikTok, get on TikTok. I've been on TikTok, and I did it for Of Mortals, and it did kind of work.
Yeah.
and I did see like instant, um, not success, but I saw like an instant reaction. But it's just the world of TikTok, like me personally, just really like rubs me the wrong way, and just like I found myself falling into the rabbit hole of TikTok, like, just watching videos and garbage and just kind of like oversaturating myself with like uh stimulation, just like, what's this? Oh, that's kind of funny. What's that? And like, and then like looking at my phone every 5 minutes to see if somebody liked the video and shit. So like for me personally, is like I don't know if I can handle that. Maybe I'll find somebody who can post their shit on TikTok, but I don't want to do it.
Fair.
Uh, yeah.
You know, the it was like the reason why we started Enigma Media, you know, like we were kind of looking at social media at the time, and we were like, how the fuck do we even market ourselves, you know? And we were just like, well, let's start like interviewing bands, and like being the platform, because like there's a ton of people out there that interview bands now, but like when we originally started with our first EP, there was like not a whole lot of people out there, you know?
Mm,
And we were just like, well, let's be the fucking place where all these bands have an outlet, you know, and can come and talk to somebody, and will help promote the fuck out of their singles and their EPs and their albums and everything, you know.
mm,
So that's originally why it started, and then Enigma Media as a company has like just changed direction so many times. Rob, my business partner, the lead singer for the band, he was like doing band management and coaching for a little while, and now where he's kind of found his place and what he really enjoys doing is filmmaking. So we've actually recorded a documentary that was released, I want to say like July of 2020, maybe 2021.
mm,
And then we just did a 6 episode docu series, and both of them were on like the collapse of our local music scene, just before COVID, and then COVID kind of like snuffing out the rest of the flames or whatever.
mm.
And
Damn.
yeah, and talking to a bunch of bands like that. And man, there was just some absolutely crushing stories of bands like there's this one Vancouver band called Unleash the Archers, and they had like a 30 date tour set up with oh man, I'm gonna forget their fucking name right now. Oh, oh, it escapes me.
Yeah,
I'll
it'll
I'll
come
try
back.
I'll try to remember, but man, they paid 50 G's to be on this tour, and they had all their merch printed, e- everything, you know, and I think they did like 2 or 3 dates, and all of a sudden it was Justin Trudeau telling all Canadians like, come home, you
Mm,
know, like it's no longer safe to be out in the world. And yeah, they came back, and like thank God they had such a great fan base that they literally bought up all the merch that they had, everything
well,
that they, all the old stuff that they'd had, you know, they were like really going out on a whim, like just like, you know, we need help, we're this much in debt, and their fans came through for them. But yeah, it's like, how do you take it from just having 1,000 or a few thousand fans or whatever, to
hmm,
hitting that like 50, 60, 70,000 fan mark?
hmm.
it
Well,
it seems insane, you know.
I think like the big breakout band right now. I don't know how far you listen into like deathcore, but the big band right now is Lorna Shore,
Yeah.
and it was getting to a point where I was getting really annoyed seeing all this shit about Lorna Shore. It's like, oh my god, okay, great, the guy makes dinosaur sounds, cool, good, great, great. Like, why, why is this the biggest fucking topic right now? And and it's all these new people coming in, all these new fans of deathcore, and as a metalhead, and I'm becoming old, I'm starting to find out that I'm turning into a bit of a gatekeeping elitist, so I need to watch myself. I'm like, oh, you don't know shit. You weren't there in the pit with me. Fucking Suicide Silence 2010. Shut the fuck up. But I've I watched a video that actually explained like Lorna Shore's success, and they've been hammering it out for years. They've been a band for 10 plus years,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but they've gone through so many lineup changes. Uh, I think I don't. I think there's one original member. I think, or there's none. I don't know. It's one of those bands that just becomes like, that always kind of blows my mind when a band just kind of like keeps going, but there's like no original members anymore. It's always kind of interesting.
Totally.
But they went through a lot of lineup changes, and it finally clicked for them when they got Will Ramos. Like they were always kind of like teetering close to that breakout, and then it would always fall down and then teeter up and down and up and down. Like life does kind of move in waves, like
Mm-hmm.
up and down. And if you keep progressing, like you're eventually going to kind of crest up and make your way up there. And right now, they definitely had their massive breakout with To the Hellfire, and are writing that right now. Like, and they're still going up. I think all their new singles that came out, everybody loves them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still being a bitter old man and kind of refuse to listen to them. But they're objectively fucking good. They are really good. Um, to me personally, just because I've listened to metal for so long, it's like this isn't like genre defining. It's just good music. You can find this in a lot of other bands. But anyway, um, but why are they so successful? Why was it this band and not Slaughter to Prevail? Why was it this band and not uh, what's another one? Signs of the Swarm or something like that?
Yeah.
Um, it's really their marketing and their frontman. Fucking Will Ramos is what really sold it, and it's not just because of his vocal talent. His vocal talent did help, um, but the idea of a frontman as opposed to a vocalist is different. It's one and the same, but it's the front man is what I'm doing right now is interviewing. I'm showing face. I'm talking to you. Like I'm presenting my band. Like I have to represent my band as the face. And he's a hell of an ambassador for their band because he's a positive dude. He's a nice guy. Everybody loves him. Like he only has nice things to say. So
Mm-hmm.
you attract more flies with honey than vinegar. So obviously people are just like, oh, like I didn't think I'd like this band, but this guy is such a fucking cool dude. I listen to it and I love it. So same with uh like Corpse Grinder from Cannibal Corpse. He's a cool
Totally.
fucking dude. He's just a goofy dad. Like even on his like on stage, his giant ass neck is like this next song is about shooting blood from your cock. Yeah, like he's not like Chris Barnes who fucking goes up there and he's just like metal's dead and everyone fucking sucks. What an asshole. But I
Yeah.
love Chris Barnes because he's a fossil. He's literally a fossil. Um, but uh, yeah, so it representing your band well, going out on a limb and showing face in a positive light goes very far. That's why a lot of those people who know you personally is like, oh, well, fucking Kevin's a great guy. I mean, I'll listen to his screamo band. It's not really, you'll get those people be like, oh, it's not really my cup of tea, but you did it, so I like it, and I get that all the fucking time, man. I get so many people is like, send me your music. Like, you don't want me to send you my music.
Yeah, you don't want to hear this. Come
Well,
on.
well, it's like some heavy stuff. Like, hey, I've heard of Slipknot, so
Yeah.
I'm in the loop. All
Okay,
right,
grandma. Grandma, sit down, okay?
I've heard of the Slipknot. Yeah, I found this CD with Eminem. Yeah, that's some edgy stuff. Mm.
So what are you hoping to do with the project in like your next year or next couple of years?
Oh man, the future. Um, so I want to keep expanding on what we can make Fifth Ring turn into. Like that idea where you were asking, what is our like what are we doing to define the genre, or what are we doing to kind of defy it and go
Yeah.
against it? Yeah, I think just kind of the more we kind of hammer into it and like flow with it, I think we'll find where our niche will lie. Whether that's making the more brutal music, making more catchy songs, making more videos. Uh, I make a bunch of t-shirt designs too. I kind of want to use that as like, not like our merch could also be like a clothing line. Like your merch should always be like a clothing line. Because your band is a brand.
Totally.
So I want to like really. I could send you some designs that I've done. I haven't released them yet. I'm gonna wait till the album comes and I'm gonna start releasing these.
Sweet.
Um, but I'll we'll see where what channel works best, right? Like obviously I want to keep doing the music, but what side of it are we going to push more towards? Like what will we see is doing the best? So right now we do have a lot of irons in the forge.
Hmm.
um Technically there's three members in the band. We have a few like jumping in members who do like some riffs here and there and do like solos. um but the third member, like me and my guitar player Chris, are the two main members. Like Gorillas, it's like 2D and Murdoch, the bass player and the singer.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it is. And then our third member, he was our drummer in the old band, but
Okay.
now I'm programming drums and he doesn't play drums. So he's more or less our production guy. Like he studied film as well.
Okay.
So he we put it on him to like help direct and write out the scripts for these videos and try to get all that organized. Uh, so yeah, we're kind of like we're a strange band, We're not. It's weird when I tell people like this is my band because I think that entails that like one you play shows together, play live shows as like guitar, bass, drums, singer.
Yeah.
It's like, but I guess by definition, it's like there's other people involved in this musical project, so I guess that's a band.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, but for the future, don't know, man. Like it's just that idea that fifth ring, right? Like kind of go with the flow. Like me personally, right now, I'm in this big transitional phase with moving and starting a new semester with my school. Uh, I'm going tomorrow for orientation to see what that's going to entail. And yeah, down the line, like we're going to see how far we can stretch this album out and maybe work on new songs, or do I want to pursue some things with Of Mortals? Because I've seen a good spike in my streams and follows on Of Mortals. Uh, but it's a bit of it's a lot more work for me. I'm doing the guitar tracks, I'm doing all that stuff, and songwriting is no easy task. I don't think
Hmm.
it's ever an easy task. So for one person, it can be a little daunting. But yeah, man, we'll just see where the wind carries us. Honestly,
Fuck yeah. So to go in a completely different uh uh avenue, what kind of guitar do you play?
right now I have an Ibanez. Um, I can go grab it in a second here, but I got an Ibanez. I've never been like a guitar techie kind of guy. Again, I'm self-taught.
Hmm.
I was like, if it sounds good, it sounds good. Um, I play on some fairly thick, nasty strings right now because
Is it a seven
like
string?
no, no, no.
Just a
It
six?
should it fucking should be because my guitar player was like, "Hey, I'm gonna send you some stuff if you're gonna do bass tracks." Oh yeah, well, I'll explain bass tracks in a minute. But if you're gonna do bass tracks, I'm playing in drop A. I'm like, I don't want to play in. I don't want to play in drop A, dog. Come on, man. I don't because he has like a baritone guitar, so
Mm,
like like a seven string, but not a seven string. Like I mean, he can play in a low drop tuning like that. And we used to play in drop A on six string duty guitars, and
yeah.
it always sounded like whack. And so he told me that, and I'm like, all right, dog. So I found like the thickest strings I fucking could and put it on that six string, and it's all right. It's fine. Uh, but I feel like I just got out of the habit of playing in really low drop tunings and was like, I want to play like in like maybe just drop D. That's fine. Like I think that's all right. Like I don't mind standard tuning with a simple drop.
Hmm.
Like, but I mean, I'll say the quality of the drop A is good. Like for the new album, it sounds fucking crisp. It's great. Now,
Sweet.
bass tracks for me, I don't own a bass guitar.
So you program them?
So no, I play them on my guitar, but I alter the pitch. And
You fucking wizard, Harry.
I so it sounds like a bass, but it's not like a crunchy, nice, crisp bass. Like it comes off as a bass. If you heard it, you'd be like, that sounds like a bass. Like, but it's not like it it is what it is. And
Is there any parts where the bass has to stand alone?
yeah, there's a song. It sounds good though. I just finished it. It's called Crimson Mask, and it's
Can you send me a snippet?
I can. Yeah, I'll send
Sweet,
you.
sweet. I want to
I'll,
hear it.
well, better yet, I'll just send you the whole fucking track. It's fine.
Beautiful.
Like, it's not fully mastered, but it's got vocals and all that. But yeah, there's a part where it's just like the hi hat and like the guitar's like dun 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 dun. Dun so when the hi hat's playing out, the bass is like do 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 do. But you can hear it. The notes are crisp. I think it sounds fine. So
Sweet.
and it really fills out the body of the song because I don't know if you noticed in our first EP, there's a very distinctive lack of bass tone in it, and it's because my guitar player did the bass tracks,
Hmm.
and like I don't know how much you know about like when you're programming or whatever, you're like working with sounds, like the sound wavelength, like it was just so quiet. It was like tiny, tiny, tiny. I was like, I
Uh,
guess I can do something with that. And like I tried to distort it and it like just didn't sound right. And I had fucked with it so much. But it was with an actual bass guitar. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna use my DI, use my guitar, adjust the pitch, and it works and it works fine, I think. And like it really adds a full body sound to
the
the track. And
mixes.
like yeah, and like me being a guitar player for so long, I've been so ignorant to how important a bass is. And I'm like, oh my God, this is why you need a bass player. Like, this really fucking rounds out everything. You don't want too much, you don't want to fucking dampen the sound out. You just need enough to like emphasize, uh, certain parts and just really give it a good body feel. So, I honestly enjoy it. I think it's actually pretty fun to write these bass tracks because I don't have to think too much about it. Like I
Hmm.
kind of find the scale and I'm like, okay. Like sometimes I'll mimic his thing. Sometimes I'll play a little like different stuff here and there. And because it's on guitar, I feel like I have a little bit more liberty to do some guitar craziness. Like, do you know oh fuck, what's the band's name? Beyond Creation.
No.
Okay. They like a older deathcore band, but their bass player I think is the dominant songwriter. He's
Okay.
definitely the dominant fucking sound because that bass tone is like, ooh, it's juicy. It's so nice. And
Beyond
it just cuts
creation.
through. Yeah, Beyond Creation.
Okay, I wrote them down.
And you'll hear the bass tone, it just really cuts through really nicely. And I kind of use that as inspiration to try to make some more bass parts cut through the sound a little bit. But yeah, very good stuff. Very good stuff. And maybe I'll buy a bass down the
Maybe I'll
line,
just
but
keep pitch shifting the guitar. Hell
save
yeah,
some money
dude.
on buying a bass.
Fuck yeah, man. Work within your means, you know?
Hmm. I mean, it's a wacky band concept already, so I'm just kind of like I'm just going with it. It's like, dog, there's only two of us, and like if we play a show, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be an online show with a backing guitar, backing bass, backing drums, and just you and me, like basically doing karaoke over it to an audience of I don't know, maybe 5 people. Who knows? So
the band
it'll be
we
fun.
the band we played with on Thursday, Planet Killer, they're that well, we're all from Kelowna, British Columbia, and their bass players from Toronto or somewhere in Ontario, anyways, in Canada, and he actually made it out for one of their earlier shows this year, but he couldn't make this. Like we just played like a Thursday night, you know. And they had the bass programmed and played through the PA or whatever. It
Mhm.
sounded fucking amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Man, it was wicked. It didn't matter
Yeah.
that he wasn't there, you know. It was so good.
There's some magic stuff you can do with that. Like we used to play with this band called Aborning, and they were a fucking grindcore band. They were just grind, ridiculous, just like old school, like early 2000s grind, just really just disgusting. They were the
Fuck yeah.
coolest guys. There was just two members though,
Oh,
vocalist, guitar player, and so they cue up their drums and their bass in the PA system and they just play it through there and people just fucking ate it up. They loved it because they had this just persona like we don't give a flying shit, not in a like a very negative way, but in a very just like playful like we're here to have fun. Like let's just have fun and play some brutal music. Like who gives a fuck? It doesn't need to be that serious. Like oh my god, it was awesome and it worked with grindcore because it's hard for me to fucking take grindcore seriously. It's just
fair.
so ridiculous and over the top. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Sweet, man. Well, just before we wrap up here, do you want to say anything to your fans?
Hey, if you're out there, I appreciate anyone who shows us any support, any love. That's really sweet of y'all. Album comes out on October 28th, so right before spooky season.
Beauty.
So that should be cool. And yeah, just stick around. I'll you can add us on Fifth Ring Band on Instagram. I sometimes update that, and my YouTube is Fifth Ring Band. Same thing, just Fifth Ring Band. I'm sure if you Google it, you'll find us. Like, there's not a whole lot of Fifth Ring bands out there. So, uh, yeah, appreciate you, man. I really appreciate this interview. This is really cool.
Yeah,
You're a
man.
really cool dude. It's good to
Thanks.
meet you.
Thanks for coming on, dude. I enjoyed all the stories that you had to share. I can't wait to help promote. And let's get you guys back in. I don't know if your guitar player can ever come in, but that'd be sweet. Sometime
I could
around.
drag him in. He's fucking technologically inept though, but I can hold his hand through it. That's for
Fair enough.
sure.
Well, that this works no matter what. But yeah,
Hmm.
let's give that album some much due appreciation and some promotion when it's all finished.
Fuck yeah, the Masochist.
Hell yeah,
10,
dude.
28, 22, October 28th, the Masochist, Fifth Ring, coming out, coming at you hot. It's gonna be good.
Fuck
Can't wait.
yeah. Cheers, everybody. This was Enigma Media with the Fifth Ring. Zach, peace out.
Peace.